though Brazil is, it favors some cars, but everybody has a chance at Brazil. I think Brazil is one of those tracks where where everybody has a chance. There's no one specific team that can win it. Like for example, I think 2019 when who got P3? Gasly. Yeah, Gasly got P3. That was crazy.
No, P2. P2.
P2, P2. I don't remember quite remember. Yeah. So yeah, Brazil is one of those tracks where anything can happen. Like for example, last year when 2020, I think it's either 2024 or 2023, where Magnussen got
Yeah,
P1.
that was 3 years ago. That was 2022.
Yeah, so yeah, Brazil is anything can happen in Brazil. I don't have one specific team. On the top, for the top end, we know those teams are always have a higher chance, but overall, I think that it's very even. Maybe the only team that doesn't have a chance is probably Alpine because they're shit. They're pure shit. We also there's another thing I want to
Um,
discuss with you. What do you think? Colapinto got extended. I just heard the news, and he's gonna be in the car next year as well. Thoughts?
I mean, he has improved a little bit. He has gotten closer to Gasly, but again, has he done enough? Has he no points? But the problem is, even if you remove Colapinto, like what's going to change? Because the problem has always been with Alpine is the structure of the team, the people who are working within the team, the car. So it's not the problem with the driver or whatever. But Colapinto has shown some signs, but it's not like it's fully guaranteed, and it's a full conclusion that he's gonna do amazingly well for Alpine next year.
Another thing, another thing is like for example, um, I remember he was taken out halfway through the his F2 season. Like he doesn't even have a full F2 season under his belt. I don't know. Like, and Jack Doohan has way more
That was
experience
last
than
year
him.
with Williams, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was taken halfway through the season of F2. He
Hmm.
didn't even finish the season. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I think this was more to do with the money, like because Colapinto has a lot of money behind him, especially sponsors. That's why they chose him. Other than that, I think he's not
And fans.
and the fans, yeah, he's not a good driver. I'm sorry, he's not a good driver. He's not a top tier driver. Not even. I don't
Mm.
think he's ever gonna be in the top three of the championship. For example, he's not gonna be like Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, Russell. Who else? Who else is in top? Who was in the top? I can't name them all, but yeah, he's not gonna be a top driver. He's gonna maybe P6, P7, there and thereabouts. Maybe P5 at the highest.
Ocon Gasly level driver, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, Ocon Gasly driver type of person. Yeah, he's not gonna be top tier. Like, like
Mm.
I don't see why Alpine like to keep mid drivers. For example, Gasly. Gasly is not really a top tier driver. He's a mid driver, but he's not a top tier driver. He's like, for example, if Alpine had a really good car, he won't. He's not. He doesn't. I don't think he has a chance in winning a championship.
No, absolutely not, of course.
Yeah.
Um, mm. So yeah, what about the midfield teams? We're talking about the top four teams. What about the midfield teams? You got the likes of Williams, you got the likes of Aston Martin, you got the likes of VCARB, etc. Haas did really well last time with Oliver Behrman.
Mm.
Pete Sauber did well a couple of times last two races. Bortoletto, that's going to be his home race, by the way. We did well in Mexico. Hulkenberg did amazingly well in Austin in the race. So, who do you think could be the team? I know it's difficult to predict because it's Brazil and anything strange
Mm.
can happen, especially with what we saw with Alpine, how well they did last year there. But who do you think the midfield teams can do well in Brazil, or has I know you said everybody has a chance, but who do you think a team you could look out for and say that could cause problems, like a P5 or even challenging a podium, for example, in Brazil?
Um, I'm gonna put it based on the recent results. I'm gonna put on. It's either gonna be between Haas Kick Sauber for P4, for P5, I mean. For P6, no, for P7, it's gonna be, I think, Aston Martin. Uh, or no, no, not Aston Martin. Williams, then Aston Martin. Then the end is gonna be. It's kind of hard to choose.
Mm.
Maybe it's gonna be something like, I'm gonna put it down like Haas, Kick, V Cab, then Aston Martin, and then Williams, then Aston Martin, then Alpine. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I
So
think what Alpine were very. Yeah, I agree. I think Alpine did well last year as the one of the underdogs teams last year in Brazil. But let's not forget Vicat did quite well. They finished, I think P3, P5 in qualifying, and then the race they did quite well, finishing P5 and P7. So I think they might. But listen, as you said, every team has a chance, so it's difficult to be very 100% sure who's gonna do well.
yeah.
So yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, now let's move. So on to towards Lewis Hamilton. There's been rumors that Lewis Ferrari are not going to give him a contract after 2026, and the possible replacement for him is Oliver Behrman, who obviously used to drive for Ferrari, but that was only for one race. That was in Saudi Arabia when obviously Carlos Sainz was having some surgery issues. So what do you think of that rumor? Is that going to be right? Because let's not forget Hamilton. Let's not forget this is not the same Hamilton as before, and he's not picked up a podium this year so far for Ferrari, even though he's won the sprint in China. So, what do you think?
I think, yeah, I think next year might be the last year we see Hamilton in F1. I think it's time to retire. Like, I know he's, I know he wants to compete as long as Alonso did, but it's time to retire. Clearly F1 is too stressful right now, especially with all the media and all the and F1 getting more popular. If F1 was like in like F1 was like in 2015, where it was a little bit less popular, less popular of a sport, then maybe he could have continued. But F1 nowadays is too stressful. Everybody gets judged. So I think this might 2026 might be the last year for him, and Oliver Behrman would be his replacement. It would make sense. Oliver Behrman, another year for Oliver Behrman in the Haas, uh, get used to F1 a little bit more, get used to driving, and then maybe when he gets when he gets more chances, maybe Haas is good next year. You never know. But yeah, I think yeah, this might next year might be the last year for Hamilton in F1.
Yeah, I think what's sad about Lewis Hamilton's like let's say demise of obviously Oliver Behrman. I think if he would drive for Ferrari, I think he would deserve it considering the progression he showed, the level of development, the continuous improvement he showed. It would be great, and I think he would. He would be. He's a very good. I think he's a good driver, and if he has a he's had a good rock of a season, even though he's had some struggles like in the middle of the season with what he did in Silverstone and Monaco. But in general, he's had a good season, and I think if he keeps improving, he could do well and he could be a good driver in the future. But for Hamilton, I think the problem with Lewis Hamilton's demise is that you can clearly see what happened to him, and I've been saying this for the last couple of years, considering how well Hamilton have struggled the last couple of years, is that what happened Abu Dhabi 2021 clearly affected him. It
Yeah,
clearly affected him.
yeah.
He keeps saying in interviews, "No, I've moved on, etc." But you can clearly see it's affected him, like mentally and everything. It's clearly affected him, and also he's not adapted well to the regulations that is coming to an end from 2022 to 2025. The problem is with Lewis Hamilton is that since his last victory for in Belgium last year, where obviously George Russell got disqualified, since his last victory, he's only gotten one podium after that. One podium. And that was Las Vegas last year.
Hmm.
One podium over how many races? 40 races? 35 races? I mean, that's not good enough. And he's clearly he's clearly past it. And I think next season is gonna be. Listen, we can make excuses. We and people have been making excuses and saying that, oh, Lewis Hamilton It's his first year at Ferrari. It's a new culture, new background, etc., etc. And kind of it, some of it I understand it, but next year, if he doesn't deliver, if he doesn't, do well, then I think it's going to be the end for him. And yes, I understand it's his first year at Ferrari, but don't tell me that you're not good enough as a seven-time world champion to not even get a single podium. It's not even a single podium. I mean, really? Come on. So
You want my honest opinion? Was I think next year will be a litmus test for Hamilton. If he gets off on the right foot for the new regulations next year, then there's maybe another chance for another year at best, like another extra year. But if he doesn't get off on the right foot, I think it's just yeah. I think it's time to retire. That's what I think.
yeah, and I think, yeah, and I think if he retires next year, it would be the best for him.
Mm,
If he doesn't do well, to be the best for him because I don't think it would be right for him to like let's say tarnish his legacy because what he's done in Formula One is absolutely incredible. The
mm,
amount of championships, the amount of wins, the amount of everything is done. I don't think I have to say what he's done because the record speaks for itself.
mm,
But at the same time, an era always comes to an end. And I think next year, if Lewis Hamilton does well, an era has to come and end for him.
yeah.
So let's move on
I
to
must say this:
the
if he get
predictions.
okay,
I know.
I won't predict as
Yeah,
I
you want
usually.
to say one more thing about Hamilton?
Yeah, I was gonna say next year would be kind of let's think out of the box. Let's imagine if he wins next year if he wins the championship next year, it would be a good time for him to retire, and he doesn't get an extension. It would be good for him to retire on eight championship, on eight titles. Anyway, let's move on to the predictions as you said. I'm not gonna predict as the same as last
So yeah,
race because
so
I
yeah,
don't
sprint
wanna.
qualifying, sprint qualifying.
Okay, for sprint,
What?
I would predict for sprint qualifying, but not for the race or normal quali. Okay,
Why?
I don't wanna I don't wanna curse someone or
Okay. So okay, you're gonna predict sprint qualifying and sprint, and I'm gonna predict all of them, but all of them like qualifying or race. But let's start with you. Who do you think is gonna get pole position at sprint qualifying today?
Norris.
Okay. And top three for the sprint.
Uh, if Norris does not make mistakes, it's gonna be Norris, Piastri, and Verstappen, or the other way around. Norris, Verstappen, Piastri.
You mean Verstappen second and Piastri third? Is that what you mean the
Yes,
other one?
yes, that's what I mean. Correct.
Okay. So my predictions, sprint pole, I'm going for Lando Norris. Sprint race, however, I'm going for a Max Verstappen win. A second position, Lando Norris, and third position, Oscar Piastri.
Mm-hmm.
And qualifying, I'm going for a pole position for Max Verstappen because I think there could be potential rain in qualifying. According to the weather forecast, there's not going to be much rain in sprint qualifying in the race. However, there could be potential rain in sprint and the original qualifying. So pole position, I'm going for Max Verstappen qualifying. In the race, um, I know people will be surprised with my prediction, but I'm actually saying I'm actually thinking Oscar Piastri is going to win the race. I think he's going to bounce back.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling like this weekend, the way he's been speaking yesterday, I think it feels like he's ready to. The way he spoke yesterday in the interview, I feel like he has a let's say a point to prove. Let's say to bounce back. I think he's gonna bounce back. First position Oscar Piastri. Second position I'm going for Lando, and third position I'm going for I think Russell might get a podium. I really think so, but I think it's gonna be Verstappen. Verstappen third, yeah. I think Verstappen will get third. So yeah.
Good. But we'll see. Piastri might have a good weekend if they fix the car. But anyways, we'll see. Any closing remarks?
Yeah, let's see.
Mm.
No, the only closing remark I have is that I'm really, really super excited for the sprint qualifying, for the sprint, for the qualifying for the race in Brazil. It always delivers, and without a shadow of a doubt, it will deliver again.
Mm. Okay. I'll end the recording now, and I need to. I want to say something. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
One.
thank you guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.